What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about if people are being too tough on the Avengers beta. Now, I'm not talking about anybody in particular. I'm just talking about the internet in general, right? Which the internet can be a pretty mean place. But no, honestly, give my reaction or my impressions to both sides. I honestly feel like as a creator on YouTube, one of the things I think does make me different is I do respect both sides of an opinion. I really do. I have my own opinion, and I will stick with it, right? And if you don't agree with me, that's how it is, but I don't, it's not like there's anything between us, okay? It's not like there's anything negative there. So I do just want to make all of that clear before jumping in the video. One final thing is, speaking of the Avengers beta, if you guys want to play with me on PlayStation, my PSN name is Podcast Now, Podcast Space Now. You can also join our Discord server, which will be in the link in the description below if you guys want to meet new people, organize kind of play sessions there. I get it. There's only one more week left or one more weekend left of the beta, but then also, the base game coming out, right? So, all right, let's jump into this. There has been, and I've seen online, again, I'm not going to single anybody out, but I've seen people on both sides, and I think, honestly, even the videos I make, I've made positive videos, and I'll get negative comments, like people saying negative things about the game, and then I'll make negative videos, and I'll get positive comments. So I never, as making these videos, I've said this before, but I truly can't win, because the video always seems to attract the opposite group to the game. And I'm sure, honestly, that's what's going to happen probably in this video too. I think there are legitimate concerns with this beta. I think there's legitimate concerns with the game. I really, ever since I started talking about this game, I've always done both. I've talked about the things I'm excited for. I've talked about the potential. I've talked about how I'm getting this game day one, and I really want this game to be good. I've also talked about what I'm kind of afraid of and what some of the weaknesses seem to be of this game. Playing the beta, as I've said, I kind of reviewed the beta before. I've talked about the things it did right, the things it did wrong, and I think overall, my general impression on this beta is it's pretty darn solid. I think it's a pretty darn solid beta. I have some problems with it, definitely, but at the same time, I think that it definitely, I think, did better than I thought it would. Now, maybe it's because I put my expectations really, really low, and again, that kind of goes to the conversation of are people being too tough on it? I would say my answer for that is probably no. And the only reason, or actually there's a couple of reasons, is, well, firstly, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. We're all going into this beta, into the game, expecting something different, okay? I know that there are some people that expected this to be extremely, extremely good, and that's also kind of where it gets confusing, right? Because it's just where you put your expectations. I think the beta is solid, is better than I thought. I wouldn't say it's like amazing, but that's because as we got close to the game, I started getting more and more afraid for this game. I started, kind of dropping the quality that I was expecting of it. So when the beta came out, or 2 weeks in now, or 2 weekends in, I think it did better than I thought. Does that mean that it's a masterpiece of a game? No. I've seen people talk about it and say, well, actually, even the people that have made this game, okay, some people that work at Crystal Dynamics, they talked about how this game is supposed to be revolutionary, how this game is supposed to be something so different. And look, again, when you say things like that, or there were very early quotes that they've said where they think that it could outsell the Batman games or outsell Spider-Man, and it's like, all right, well, I mean, I really just don't think it's going to end up doing that. Look, the game, where it is, you're either going to like it or not like it. I think, honestly, that's kind of where I've come down on it, is it may not be a game for everybody. And even the way I'm saying it right now, it kind of sounds like I'm in support of it, right? That doesn't even mean that I'm going to be in support of it forever. I may think it's solid, then I may play it. I may play it for the first couple of weeks of when it releases, nonstop, and then eventually I may just be like, you know what? This kind of game, it just doesn't work for me. You know what I mean? I mean, you can go through ups and downs. So, again, do I think there's people that maybe are just hating the game to hate it? Yes. Okay, I absolutely think that. I think there's people also that are attacking it kind of with an agenda, where maybe they always hated it, and then they're, what I mean? And again, I've only seen a couple different people. I just think when you read articles or when you look at Twitter and stuff like that, and again, those aren't a representation of everybody. Okay, those are just a couple, kind of snippets or just a couple opinions. When I look at this game, again, I feel like they've capped themselves. I feel like that's kind of fair to say. I think the strength of this game is going to be the support long term that they're going to constantly be adding to it. I've also said, though, and I've also made clear that I think the game as a whole, it could get repetitive and it could turn people off. And if that's what people are saying about this beta, I think that's fine. So again, are people being too hard on it? I think there are some people. I think, again, there always are going to be some people that just always have negative things to say about a game. But at the same time, look, it's okay to be critical on it. And I think that's the most important thing when we're talking about this game is, again, I come at it from an approach, and I've always said this. I've said this for years and years on YouTube. And again, I think it's what makes me different is even when I'm attacking a game or I'm criticizing it, I really do stand true to my thought that all I want is the best for it. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever done it, and if I have, I really regret it, okay? I'd never want to or ever do, in the future, want to attack something just to attack it, okay? Or criticize something just to criticize. For me, there kind of needs to be a reason. I'm not just going to do it. Like, yes, criticism videos and hate videos and stuff like that, they do better on YouTube. I mean, that's just a factual thing. Maybe that's where some of them come from, okay? But at the same time, I always look at it as I'm coming at it from, well, I just want this fixed, or could you do it this way or change this just to make it a better overall experience. So, and again, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And the things that I said, that I made a video talking about the top 5 things, or the 5 things that the beta did wrong, and the negativity that came from it. It actually did, mostly positive stuff. But some people that were attacking me were saying like the game is perfect, there's nothing wrong with it. And it's like, all right, come on, right? And hopefully I'm talking to the choir here. Hopefully I'm talking to the people that's like, we can all recognize that there's issues. And I do think that is what kind of can help a community. That's honestly what can help a community, okay? And what can make a game overall stronger is when you have a community that's not just, loving it to love it. They're not just kissing up to it, but they're also not just hating it to hate it. You know what I mean? They can like certain parts of it. Maybe they can blindly like certain parts of it for whatever reason they want to. But also, there's negative things, and if there has to be reasons behind them, right? So I think that's kind of where it all stems. I've seen negative things about this game, and I think people are firstly entitled to their own opinion, and secondly, yeah, the beta is not perfect. I mean, there's absolutely no way you can say the beta is perfect. I've seen a lot of people saying like, well, how can you judge what the game is going to be, or judge the future, or judge anything like that based off of just a beta? Well, I mean, there's a lot you can judge the beta is a view, and I get it. I mean, when they talk about betas, they say, okay, this is a little snippet of what you're going to get in the base game, but I mean, this is it. Like, the base game's going to be more. There's going to be more, probably A-day quality missions. There's going to be more characters. There's going to be additional characters. I mean, there is going to be more stuff. The skills, they lock certain skill branches in this beta where we didn't even see them. So yeah, the game is going to be expansive. It's going to be more expansive than the beta. It's going to have it's going to tell, a full-length story, all this kind of stuff. That's fine. I think for me, I try and judge the beta on how it is connected to the game. Do you know what I mean? I judge the beta based off of, okay, these are the things that I absolutely believe are going to be problems in the main game, or are just going to appear in the main game. You know what I mean? You can't judge the beta and say, oh, there's just not enough stuff here. That's not a criticism. That's not a criticism of the beta. The things that you can say are, okay, if the game follows through with what the beta is doing, then there's going to be, this problem. And so that's how I've always kind of addressed it. So one more time, I feel like everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If they're just hating it to hate, then yes, they're being too unfair to it. But at the same time, the people that blindly are loving it need to understand that, again, it's not perfect. There's not really, even like the best games of all time, you can find faults with. Even a game like for me, my favorite game ever is Uncharted 4. Okay, for me, it's the best game I've ever played. Does that mean I think that it's literally perfect? I mean, to me it is, but I mean, I can see flaws in it. You know what I mean? And I can also see why somebody would say, no, it's not, my favorite game ever. You know what I mean? So blind love only gets you so far. You got to be willing to say, okay, there are some problems with it. And again, for a beta, that's another thing. That's maybe the final point I'll say. When people are saying like, oh, you're being too hard on it, you can't really judge them based off of this. Look, that's what a beta is. The beta is literally out to get feedback from people. It's to test internal things too. I'm sure they're testing the servers. They're making sure everything's going to work for day one. But they also want to hear, now again, they don't want to hear, oh my God, your game sucks, like, and maybe like death threats and stuff like that. Like, they don't want to hear that. But I think they do want to hear, okay, this is a little, we don't necessarily like this. The problem that I've said is if there's main things in this beta, like main features of the game that are broken or just don't work or aren't very fun or can get repetitive, those are things that just flat out I think cannot be fixed before the game comes out, but they should still hear about it. And then things that can be fixed, they should hear about that too. So again, blindly loving a beta is not really going to help them. You're supposed to not necessarily attack it, but you're supposed to find faults in it because they're supposed to try and fix things for the main game. So it's been tough. I've seen both sides. Again, we'll see. It'll be kind of funny to see how does this video do. Is this kind of a negative video so I get the people who love the game, or is this more of like I'm kind of defending the game? YouTube has a weird way of working, right? So guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are people being too hard on this beta? What have you thought about the beta? What do you think about the main game? Do you think it's going to be okay? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel, Podcast Now. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And like I said, if you guys want to friend me, Podcast Now is my name on PlayStation. It's a Nathan Drake picture. If you guys want to play, Avengers or just future PS4 games, PS5 games with me, totally up for doing that. Join our Discord. Again, the link for that will be in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next Avengers video.